Okay, we're on the south side of the house here. This is our electric load center right there. And this is our main service disconnect. And what I'm not seeing in our main service disconnect is I'm not seeing the grounding and the bonding location. Okay, I'm not noticing that. So let's kind of move on around. This is aluminum. And they actually did put some paste on it. Okay. Now, when L1 and L2 come into the box, these should have protective covers installed on them. These covers, while they're appreciated down here, and one day they will be required, the requirement is up here today. Next year they'll probably be required down here, but today they're required up here. Another thing about this cabinet, this is your main neutral coming into the house. It's supposed to be wrapped with white tape no fewer than 4 times. Not 4 times in a row, not 4 separate spots, but a section of it about 4 times. Okay? So now we're going to move on along. We're going to come inside the garage south interior wall. This is called a UFER, U-F-E-R. Okay, that's our grounding, that's our bonding. Okay, we got a ground outside by the meter, a grounding rod by the meter that's buried, and then this is the second ground within 6 feet, but it also serves as bonding because this is a PEX home. So come on along here, this is our second panel, alright? And it's good that we got L1 and L2 covered. Okay, one day it's going to be required. But today it's only the ones on the cabinet on the other side, the ones that... So you've got 3 sets of these connections, and the only set that's required to be covered is the set that is not covered. Now what I'm not seeing in here is a bonding location. Okay? So bonding location is not posted here, not posted here. We know that this is the bonding location. Bonding location. Now I'm coming over here just for a second. I'm going to stall. Man, I haven't seen one of these in a while. That's okay. We square D recall. 2403. That's fine. Okay. This model, some versions of this model have been recalled, but not this one. But I wanted to make sure. So, lost my place. There's our bonding, but it's not labeled in here. Now, sure, if a home inspector can figure that out, surely an electrician could figure that out. But what if you got a big, hairy tool chest here, or a beer fridge, or something here, and then that's blocking it, and then the electrician would have to, he could guess, it's going to go like, it's got to be on this wall, but if it was labeled right here, then he'd have a better chance of locating it. And it's supposed to be. I didn't make up the rules. Okay? Now coming on along here, this is for our kitchen oven. This should have a lockout spacer on it. This is for our air conditioning system. Okay, this is a 35 amp fuse. The condensing unit is rated for 50 amps. The condensing unit is underfused. That means that with a small fuse like this, it will trip prematurely in an untimely manner. A nuisance trip, if you will. It'll trip when the air conditioning system is still good to go and running fine. I'm not saying that it will trip, but it can trip. It's a potential. It's underfused. This is less than what the manufacturer specified for. And we got some gaps around our cabinet. Pretty good sized ones. Alright. Larger than the manufacturer specifies. See, the cabinet goes, see this edge right here? The cabinet goes on this edge. And that leaves this cabinet cover, this dead front cover plate, is supposed to fit flush to this. When it fishes flush to the wall like this with this much gap, if this cabinet melts down, because you got combustible wood debris in the bottom of it, and it melts down, the fire can wrap around and get into the wall, and then it can breach the cabinet. The whole idea about having a metal cabinet is to contain a problem. And so, now I get it. I mean, you can't 100% contain it, but you can do better than, oh, bud, give us a break. You know, it's a new it's construction. You can't get it that tight. Well, they got the drywall screws that tight, you know. The doors, they got adjusted that well. The stereo that they put in that car, the 16-year-old kid put it in, Hawk Electronics. I know he had it looks like it came with the car. It looks like it came with the car. And I know that a 16-year-old kid, okay, probably has a lot more on his mind about what he's going to do on Friday night with his buds and stuff than a 35-year-old, 28-year-old drywall installer. I know he's got a lot more on his mind than a 35-year-old licensed electrician. You know, so I just think that could be done better. I think it should have been done better, and it should have been done better. Combustible. Now, again, not waking up this morning trying to figure out ways to piss off the builder, but this is called handwriting. Okay, this is called printing. Danger, QOC42, printing. Okay, UL listed, square D, printing. This is called handwriting. And the International Residential Code says this should be printed. The National Electrical Code says this should be printed. The Square D manufacturer said that this should be printed. Printed with durable identification. It even came with stickers that had most of this information included. I don't know where the stickers went. I don't know why it was so much more important to write it rather than use the stickers. I don't get that. But that should have been printed. So what did we learn? We learned... Well, what did we learn? Let's do a recap here. We learned that our bonding location is not labeled and our neutral is not wrapped, and L1 and L2 are not covered with a non-conductive protective device. Those came in this cabinet to be installed there. Again, we learned that our bonding location was not labeled. We learned that we do not have a lockout for our range. We learned that our air conditioning system is underfused. We learned we got combustible materials in the bottom of the panel. We learned that our gap is too wide. We learned that our cabinet was printed.